You know, I bet when you think of an infamous dictator, you probably imagine lots of security and shrouds of secrecy. But the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-Un, takes it to another level. We want to hear your comments. Write in the comments section and let us know. Do you agree or disagree? Let's get started. In a country where most struggle, its leader splurges on not 1 but 8 new mansions. Oof! Welcome to Old Money Lives, where we explore the secrets of generational wealth. These 8 mansions are a surprising contrast to what we think of North Korea, aren't they? But things aren't as simple as they seem. While their sheer size is enough to leave anyone in awe, from gold-plated fixtures to Olympic-sized swimming pools, my God. Each of these fortresses are also equipped with every imaginable amenity. Each home alone is fit for someone revered as a god in their country. But what drives a leader to build 8 such lavish mansion hideouts in a country marred by economic difficulties? Is it a mere show of wealth? Or is there a darker, more complex reason behind these constructions? Put a comment, let us know. So, why hide in mansions? I mean, it seems absurd, doesn't it? Mansions aren't exactly subtle. But then neither is Kim Jong-un, the latest leader of the longest-lasting autocracy in the world. Michael Madden, an expert on North Korea, sheds light on this. You see, the supreme leader of North Korea constantly fears a decapitation strike, an attack aimed at wiping out the top figures in a regime. About a decade ago, South Korea simulated such an attack, and it really shook Pyongyang. These mansions are thus Kim's chess pieces in a high-stakes game of survival, a game where each move is calculated to keep his enemies guessing. But Kim's strategy isn't just about dodging danger, it's also about power and control. These mansions sit across the street from the ruling party's central nerve centers. From here, Kim can easily pull the strings of the government, military, and security. And let's not forget these places are near where North Korea's grand events are held, and where the elite dine and socialize. Now, these sprawling mansions could house his family, close aides, or even the nobles of the ruling party. Imagine living in such luxury while most of the country struggles for basic necessities. So, let's indulge in the excesses together. The mansions. During a visit by Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, the world got a rare peek into these secretive abodes. Once you pull up to a grand residence in Pyongyang, the heart of North Korea, you're greeted by a striking glass facade, reflecting the sky. This is Kim Jong-un's primary formal mansion, his key symbol of his power. As you walk through the sprawling estate, the first thing that catches your eye is possibly his collection of flashy cars lining the various driveways. We do wonder where he would even get to drive them. Then, mansions themselves are rather interesting in design. Their architecture is a creative contemporary interpretation on Chinese and Korean architecture vernacular. The form of lintels, arches, and the rectilinear form all communicate base elements of feng shui. Do you use feng shui in your home? Let us know in the comments. Symmetry and rhythm are key, including the relationships to the garden and the sense of enclosure to maintain the good energy in the house. The mansion's interiors are bathed in natural light thanks to the floor-to-ceiling windows. I assume these are bulletproof, no doubt, as they are curious in design. For someone who is trying to hide, this is a man who clearly wants to see and be seen. Before we continue, if this video has sparked your interest and left you curious for more, we'd love to see your support. Don't forget to share the video. And please, take the time right now to hit that subscribe button, and we'll keep bringing you more content. The living areas are vast, by the way, with plush furnishings, And the decor? Opulent, to say the least. It's the kind that makes you wonder if you're in a palace or a modern art museum. The hallways are something right out of a fairy tale, lined with ornate statues of Korean maidens. Now, let's move to the gardens. They're not just well kept, they're a masterpiece of landscaping. In a city where everything's kind of grey and uniform, finding these pockets of lush greenery surrounded by vibrant flower beds is like stepping into a different world altogether. It's a serene escape from the outside world, a private paradise for a leader known for his reclusiveness. Now, many of these things are to some extent typical of a leader's private mansion, particularly a revered authoritarian dictator. However, usually they limit themselves to one or two such properties, particularly in their own country where the contrast might be a bit much for the population to swallow. Haha, not in this case. Kim Jong-Un has 8, count them, 8, of these mansions and purposely spends one night a week in a different mansion every time, picked at random. The number 8 is rooted in Chinese numerology. 8 is a lucky number. So I guess this somehow justifies the madness? Oh, and guess what? Our Madman Kim didn't just settle with one giant ridiculous resort of houses, he also has built a private beach resort, becoming one of the largest in the world. North Korea's secrecy issues mean that there are even fewer images or information of this location, so we've gathered what we can. It's not easy putting all these images together, you know. As we turn away from these grand estates towards the political landscape of North Korea, though, we can clearly see a world where paranoia is not just a state of mind, it's a way of governance. So, a glimpse into the leader's life. When you think of North Korea, a few images pop into your mind: military parade, strict governance, and maybe even nuclear threats. But there's more to this country's story, especially when it comes to its leader Kim Jong-un. He's the 3rd generation of his family to rule North Korea, and he's not taking any chances. The propaganda campaigns are near medieval in their elevation of this family to a godlike status. To a majority, this man is literally worshipped. But internationally, it's a less pretty picture. Let's start with the political setup. North Korea, officially known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, is anything but democratic. It's a totalitarian regime, meaning one person, in this case, Kim Jong-un, has absolute control over everything. It's a country where your every move could be watched and where saying the wrong thing could land you in serious trouble. Now, you might think, well, every leader needs security, right? Sure, but in Kim's case, it's extreme. He's known for his paranoia, and it's not entirely baseless. Being a leader with such ironclad control makes you many enemies, both within and outside the country. Anyway, North Korea is defiant and one of the most secretive countries. Information is tightly controlled, and the state's propaganda machine is always in full swing. The average citizen has little to no access to global news or perspectives. Why this level of control? Let us know in the comments, what do you think? It isn't just about keeping people in the dark, it's about maintaining power. North Korea spends up to 33% of their GDP on the military, ranking 1st in the world, with an army of almost 1.3 million active personnel. This makes it one of the largest standing armies in the world, with an estimated 1.28 million active duty personnel. Keeping in view the total population, this is a ginormous number. Then there's also those massive parades in Pyongyang, which you might have probably seen, with soldiers marching in perfect sync. It's a display of power, meant to impress and intimidate. But here is where it gets interesting. Kim Jong-un's leadership style is a mix of awe and fear. He's known for his unpredictable actions. Remember when he suddenly decided to meet with South Korean President Moon Jae-in and US President Donald Trump? Those moments were historic but also a bit nerve-wracking, right? It showed a side of Kim that's willing to take bold steps, but always on his terms. What does this mean for the average citizen? Not great, to be honest. For 2024, North Korea's leaders have cautioned the nation about upcoming economic challenges and a serious military situation. This, however, comes on top of the country's economy already having been shrinking for 3 years in a row. North Korea's total GDP last year was around 36.2 trillion won, which is $27.9 billion. A very small amount compared to South Korea's, this is a big number, 2,161.8 trillion won. The population of North Korea increased to almost 26 million, but this growth is overshadowed by the nation's declining birth rate and a struggling economy. North Korea's total value of trading goods jumped to $1.6 billion. But this is a fraction of South Korea's trade value, which is over 890 times larger. In this context, Kim Jong-un's lavish lifestyle and the existence of his multiple mansions seem almost surreal. Many world leaders have criticized Kim for prioritizing military might and personal extravagance over the well-being of his people. Yet, understanding his mindset is key to comprehending why these mansions exist in the first place. By the way, have you subscribed? Hit that button! Since coming to power in 2011, Kim Jong-un has aggressively expanded North Korea's nuclear capabilities. Under his rule, North Korea has conducted 4 nuclear tests and launched close to 90 ballistic missiles, describing the tests as simulated nuclear attacks on South Korean and American targets. Wow. This is a truly scary man. Kim Jong-un's lavish lifestyle, including the procurement of luxury items, is another area of international scrutiny. A 2019 report revealed that North Korea illegally obtained over 800 luxury vehicles, and public images from Pyongyang showed luxury goods from top designers, despite international sanctions. Why is that now? What do you think? Is there a reason? Let us know. You see, Kim's regime employs a mix of fear tactics and gift-giving to secure loyalty from the elite class, using methods like rewarding loyalty with luxury apartments and designer goods. Now, all these facts underscore the critical role of fear and power displayed in Kim Jong-un's leadership. His mansions, thus, are not just built for comfort, but out of a need for security and a desire to display power. In a country where showing any sign of weakness could end his reign, these mansions serve as much as a political statement as they are homes. They are physical manifestations of his rule, unyielding, isolated, and extravagantly defiant in the face of international criticism and domestic challenges. We know that this video was somewhat provocative, but we'd love to know what you think. Is this the type of content that you'd like to see? Or would you prefer something a bit more chill? Let us know in the comments. Thanks again for sticking to the end of the video. Give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and let us know what you want. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.